Once in a time on the Doge Game SMP, when everything was calm, there was nothing. No buildings, no destruction, nothing. Then there came a village. They built houses. The villagers loved it here. But it went too cold, and they died. Except two. And they still survived. And they knew they needed a bigger home. And it almost was a long time later, almost 1,000 years. They survived. And they discovered new technology. They discovered new materials. They discovered the material concrete. And concrete was special. Because concrete was the one material that their new home was gonna be built off. And their home was therefore gonna be called Concira. And Concira is still standing today after a long process of building. And so they built it. Concira. A city, you can guess it, out of concrete. With, of course, a museum, but that isn't really a part of the lore. This museum is just there for fun. And so, the city was born. The city has multiple aspects. It all started with this building, with a farm in it. It's a concrete generator. Why a concrete generator, you would say? Well, it's actually obvious. For concrete. Because literally this entire place is concrete. I'm gonna go in spectator mode because it's easier to do this. I'm gonna go like this. This building was the next to be born. A giant building used to contain items built for it. It's not a lot of chests, you know. It's bigger than my normal storage, you could say. And after that, they started to build buildings. They needed just the basic things. They needed a police station. Of course, they have beacons as lights. Yes, I know. Of course, I did the interior as well. They did the interior. I'm sorry, I never did this. Literally the hot dog stand. I don't know why it's here, but yeah, it's kind of funny. Even the McDonald's was actually built in here. The McDonald's looks pretty fancy, I think. There's a bank. This bank features a vault, computers, just everything a bank needs. And there are monsters in there, but I mean, you never get there, so what's the point in getting them out of there? Even a shell. Is it a shell? I think it is a shell. It's new. It's a gas station. You know, today I actually did an English speaking exam, and you know, it went pretty well, I could say. Watch, and now I'm gonna make all the mistakes, and everyone's gonna think I'm lying. But yeah, it was great. Over a few days, I have a writing, reading, and listening exam, and yeah, I'm scared a bit, but I think I'll make it. The candy machine. A bus. Watch out for these. If you're ever gonna see this in real life and the man steps out of it and asks you to come get a candy, always say no. I'm warning you, don't go in there. Ice cream truck. with of course the ice cream shop. Here you could go in since ice creams are really nice. Considering the temperature of the last few days, you maybe could grab one. And the butcher, of course. Everyone needs meat, except if you're a vegetarian, of course. Then don't go here. It's nothing for you. There's a post office because people can send mails. It's just a basic thing to do. A pet store. Pets are really loved with a lot of people. So just buy your pets here. A car wash because cars are getting dirty, and if everyone would have a dirty car, no one would really like it, you know. And last but not least, a karate, I don't know how to pronounce it, a place where you could train, you know. People want sports. People like this. You know, the city, it isn't really that big, you know, but not many people live here. The only people living here live in this building, and this is everything they need to survive. They have it nice, you know. They live here. But you know, they did need more resources. Only those resources couldn't really be made or purchased or sold in a city. They needed something else for it. They needed factories. Only those factories they built, containing iron farms, cacti, nether warts, and so much more. It even contained a stone mine. This place was once used to mine minerals, stone, diamonds, even slimes. But factories, unfortunately, when this thing in the middle of the ocean decided to pop up, factories were destroyed. Nothing worked anymore. It was all gone. The power transformer. Everything. It had to be abandoned. It had to be left. The factory of Concira. To this day, the campfires are still smoking. After it's all gone, there was only one thing left that stayed. The Rusty Slime Farm. It still exists to this day. I have no idea why it just survived. I guess it was because it was too low for it to reach. Because this thing, it reached high, but not deep. So it survived forever. I don't think it's making slime balls, but yeah, it still is making some slime balls to this day. People are still using it. The city is actually still using it. But the city needed something else. Iron wasn't gonna be difficult. A new iron farm had already been built by the inhabitant of this farmhouse, which in the lore is me, but yeah, he built an iron farm. So iron, I lent it, I gave it to them, to Concira. They could use everything I had, but I didn't have anything. I didn't really have much. I had some bees, iron, and that was actually it. They needed more, so they decided to come up with their next building plan. They needed a firm, a company, which would provide all resources the humans, would ever need. And they built Concira Incorporated. But more on that later in part 2 and 3. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more Dogecoin SMP lore.